Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael, your friendly financial credit coach, and I'm looking forward to tonight's session. We have a special guest tonight with us in the personality of Mr. Corey McDowell. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Corey?
And I'm so glad to be here with you this afternoon, Brother Michael. And thank you so much for having me. For those who don't know me, I'm Vice President Corey McDowell with Financial Education Services. And I've pretty much been in the financial industry now for over 7.5 years. I'm a six-figure earner with FES and just pretty much just educating people about the importance of credit, business credit, and where it can actually take you. And I'm just once again glad to be on this platform with you this afternoon, Mike, and to educate so many other people on how we can now start breaking these generational curses.
Yes, we're on the same mindset right there because I've been knowing you for several years. So, I mean, going back, back 4, 5, 6 years. And, when we connected back FES and, it was a blessing that we're able to expand and grow with our business, but still include FES. So we still keep in touch. And I'm so glad about how you were being blessed. I've seen your blessing manifesting yes sir over there in Maryland. So yeah, we thank God for that, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come on of your busy schedule, busy life, because we know that you are busy, so as we all are, and I want to make sure that people get that knowledge that you spoke about. So tonight we're going to basically hit like the 10 myths of credit, and we're going to drop some facts in there, some figures, some numbers in there to help people get on that path to financial empowerment. So, Brother Corey, you're gonna flow with me tonight as I present this info. You have this powerful knowledge, and as well, I want to share it with you. And I love having my guest on here. So let me pull this presentation up for everyone so they can see it. Give me a thumbs up if you can see on the screen right quick. Boom, there we go. I love it. So this particular one, and I want to drop some knowledge. I want to get straight down to the nitty gritty of things because it's so important that people realize what's really happening out there in today's society. Let's look at some facts here. And Corey, you can definitely jump in if you want to elaborate on some things here. But I'm looking at 43 million people that have less than a 600 credit score. And that's scary. And millions. Now, it'd be different if it was a few million, but this is 43 million people that have less than a 600 credit score in our country.
Now, let me jump in on that though, Mike. Now, understanding that this was done pre-COVID. So imagine during the job losses, during people are living off or surviving off of their credit cards. That number right now is probably over 90 million people that's suffering a credit score of 600 or lower right now. That's in today's reality.
That's scary. And you see how a disaster such as the epidemic that broke out, the quarantine, the loss of jobs, people were literally living off their credit cards for months. Mm-hmm. And so that you're right, that number probably has doubled in within the last year. And we need to drop the knowledge and help people get back to that level of financial dignity in which they've been called. Because nearly half of Americans don't even know their credit score. Some of the clients that come to me, and I'm sure you've experienced this many times, and you ask them, what's my credit? So what's your credit score? And you say, well, I hadn't looked. I don't know. Well, I know it's bad because I'm being denied. So, it's a lot happening out there. We want to get people empowered and even with the debt. This has increased as well. The average debt is no longer $225,000, but it has increased due to the use of credit, due to the use of going further into debt, people not having savings. So we're looking at the aftermath of 2020. Absolutely. And then with people don't even have retirements, and they're trying to get there or less of retirement, and they're trying to get back on track with their goals. Even with 65% people don't even have wills. It's just a horrible story of the clients that I encounter that don't have wills, and it just tears the family apart also. And even the importance of a trust. When we start owning things, we need to make sure we understand the power of a will, the trust, the power of attorney, medical power of attorney, financial power of attorney as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But with $50 billion in unclaimed life insurance policies, banks and pensions, and this is something that probably some of this is probably belongs to people that they didn't even know these items existed in their families.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, of course,
I can't even agree with you more on that, Michael, because you got to think about the grandparents, right? Like a lot of people, they didn't believe in the banks. They didn't believe they kept money underneath their pillows, and they kept important documentations, the deeds to their home. Like some people were just not financially responsible because they just weren't financially taught. And and this is where it's so very important. The work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, is pretty much educating the community on that too as well. Because, and think about it too, every 2 seconds an identity is actually stolen. People are not breaking into people's houses or cars anymore, right? They want that 700 credit score. They want your 800 credit score so they can open up accounts, get credit cards, live a life off of your hard work, off of your identity. So once again, these are the things that a lot of people are not even being thought about. Like the dark web is actually real, where they're trading your information and things like that. So we got to ask ourselves, are we protecting our financial situations all the way around?
very good point you make there. And we have to make sure we secure our finances, our family, and our future. And we're going to try to help people with that tonight. Let's read some facts out there. And I love this quote because Robert Kiyosaki, he's my dude and everything. A Rich Dad, Poor Dad changed my life outside the Bible. But, that's a very powerful man. I have several of his different books. And he says here, we were not taught financial literacy in school. It takes a lot of time to change your thinking and to become financial literate. Now, one thing that I have the opportunity and the rare chance that people do is to teach personal finance to high school students. That's one of the things that we do, and not just to adults, but to high school students. And we actually formed a curriculum to help them as they get ready to transfer into the real world. But this is a rare thing that only, I think maybe 33 schools in the United States require personal finance to graduate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And this is over the last 10 years. It used to be like half of that about 10 years ago, but we started this great campaign. But financial literacy is so important for people, and absolutely, children, teenagers, and adults alike. So I love that quote as well.
Because I can't agree more though, Mike, too, as well. When you're thinking about it, it starts off, like you said, at an early age, right? Even understanding me being a single father, and I pour credit into my daughter, understanding like, hey, I add you on to as my authorized users onto my actual to your credit profile. So by the time you're 18, you'll be able, now you'll have over 100,000 on your credit profile. You can start your business things. You can leverage. It's so much things that we can do. We were just not taught this information in school. And still to this day, right, when I listen, especially where being at home, being in entrepreneurship, I was able to listen to what they were actually teaching our kids. And I'm sitting up here thinking, like, the stuff that they're teaching them is not going to translate over into the real world to prepare them to be successful. And once again, I fell into that trap, right? But then once again, we have to break that generational curse. And once again, salute back to you, Mike, for the work. And like you said, Robert Kiyosaki said it best. And I recommend everybody read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a great book. And I truly enjoy his works and other people's works too. But we won't get into that right now. We got to help these people tonight and talk about credit and the 10 myths about your credit. Let's roll with this tonight, man. And I appreciate you coming in and connecting with us about this. Number one myth says that credit agencies are empowered with some kind of government authority. That is not true. Because they have the word credit bureau behind their name, they have no connections with government authority. The actual name is credit reporting agencies, is the real name we should be using. And because these particular companies are privately held companies, and they make money off gathering your information from other business so they can solicit to you, they can sell your information to other business, and they make billions of dollars a year. And one fact I found out was the job they're supposed to be doing is making sure your credit stays updated and make sure everything is right, but they're not doing that. So the government is actually finding they charge them fines of like millions of dollars, but they don't care because they're making billions of dollars selling your information to other businesses.
You hit it right on the nose, Mike. And that's the key thing that a lot of people don't know about. The credit bureau's job is to make sure that the information on your credit report is 100% accurate and verified. Not busy selling your information to Tom and Jerry's or whatever the case may be. So that's very important to know that too as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Let's look at number 2 here. So we got this credit agencies, they're required by law to keep derogatory items on your credit reports for 7 to 10 years. Is this true or is it false?
This right here, Mike, man, this is totally false, right? Because there are no laws that require the credit agencies to report anything on you at all. I'm going to say this again, right? Because I like to talk to the viewers and I like to be transparent. How many of us pay a cell phone bill every month, right? I know I do.
Yes.
How many of us pay a Comcast, Affinity bill, AT&T, DirecTV, whatever service that you're using every month? I know I do. How many of us pay the water bill, our light bill every month, right? But why is that not being reported to the credit bureaus? So who gets and picks and chooses what gets reported to the credit bureau?
Exactly.
No one. Because there's no laws at all, right, that they have to report anything on you. Facts, okay? Credit agencies are required, though, by law to automatically remove all derogatory items older than 7 years, in this case of bankruptcy, 10 years, okay? That's if you just let it sit on your report with no legal action and you don't do anything, automatically they are supposed to remove it. But just like you know and I know, Mike, does that happen? No.
Sir.
It does not happen at all. And then when people keep saying, well, it's been on it for like 15 years because somebody is keep verifying that actual debt and it keeps prolonging it. That's why it remains on your actual credit report. But we're going to get in more detail to that a little later on too as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Now, let me ask you this. Now, the law says it should be up to 7 to 10 years. It doesn't have to be at least 7 to 10 years. Is that correct?
So within that law, it's saying actually, like I said, technically, right? That's if you have something on there, it automatically supposed to be removed within that 7 to 10 years. Gotcha. Automatically. Yeah. That means the credit bureau is supposed to automatically take it off of your report. That is required by law. But do they do that? No.
Well, let's see if we can help people out tonight, get some more knowledge about how to get that removed. But number 3, I'm looking at this right here, and it talks about it. This myth says it is impossible to get a bankruptcy removed. False.
I love this one so much, man. But I'm going to read the comments, and I'm going to really dig deep on this, right? Bankruptcies come off just like any other derogatory item that's incorrectly reported or obsolete, erroneous, misleading, incomplete, or cannot be verified. Remember, the nature of the item has nothing to do with its removal under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So, Brother Mike, we want the audience to know this, right? Bankruptcies are considered public records, right? Yes. And I want to make clear of everybody know what a public record is. So, public record could be a judgment, a tax lien. And fellas, and before I say this, and I encourage this every time I say this, make sure that you pay your child support. Make sure that you're taking care of your kids, okay? But once again, if you are victim to that and it's on your credit report, can it be removed? Absolutely. Because the main thing is to understand is this. It's against the law for the federal courts to report to the credit bureaus. Oh. Once again, people say, well, Once again, so when you go file that bankruptcy or you do whatever the case may be, go and ask that clerk, do you report to the credit bureaus? They will tell you, no, we do not. So then you have to ask yourself, how does that information then get on my credit report? And now I know we have the solution to that, Mike. Do you want to share it now, or do they have to get with you later on? So I'm just put it like this, At the end of the day, if you have bankruptcies, tax liens, judgments, those things are the most easiest things to get off your credit report. You need to reach out to Mike after you see this information. No, you're not waiting the 7 to 10 years. You're not even waiting 1 year or any of that information. We're going to get that bankruptcy removed off by leveraging the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and you will now be able to purchase your home. Go ahead now and purchase your car and get your credit to where it needs to be.
Thank you, sir. That's very powerful. And a quick testimony, one of my clients who just came off of bankruptcy, not recently, but one of my earlier clients, they said, hey, I just came out the bankruptcy. I don't know if you can remove it because they say up to 7 to 10 years. Within 8 months, we took him from an 535 to an 801 credit score by removing his bankruptcy.
Yeah, I hear it right now. So if you know anybody that has bankruptcies, public records, you need to get in contact with Brother Mike right now. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Hey, I learned from the best, man. I appreciate you. Let me tell you this other myth. The information on your credit report cannot be changed. This is false. Exact opposite. It is true. And under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, both federal and here it is, the various state laws require items to be removed if they are not 100%, listen, 100% accurate or cannot be verified in a timely manner. See, there's a time frame as well that the credit reporting agencies have to do this information once you get in there and challenge them on this. And we have seen this so many times where people believe that, oh, well, it's done, it's over, I can't restore my credit score. That is a lie from the pit. We can help people change that around as well. And we have the means to do that. We can talk about that later on as well. That was very simple because we do that all the time. But I'm looking at number 5 right quick. This one really throws people off. And it talks about this, about the illegal. It is illegal or immoral to have your information altered or removed on your credit report. I don't understand, according to the FCRA, yes, this is something that is done on a regular basis, and matter of fact, by law can be done.
Right. Let me elaborate on this a little bit, Mike. You know, so some people will say, well, Corey, this is my account. I did do this. I didn't pay these people. I didn't do this. I said, okay, well, great. So then I always say, take yourself out of the situation now, right? I said, now put yourself in a situation now that you're facing life in prison, right? Somebody's accusing you or something, right? Now you're going to go in front of the judge and tell the judge, yes, I did do that, or you're going to fight your case so now you can be acquitted. Whether you did it or whether you didn't do it, it's not up to you to determine that. It's up to the bureaus to verify that that information is accurate and correct. So once again, if you fell through hardships, right, especially during the pandemic, you can get those items removed off of your credit report. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of having the bureaus prove that this information is yours, even though you know you did wrong, right? Now it's your time. They're giving you a second opportunity with the law to do right and forcing them to verify that this account is yours. And if they cannot verify that information, guess what? You have a refresh, a new start, a new beginning. And it's a process. And I tell people all the time, it is a process. But most of everybody, they start seeing the results in the first 30 days.
Exactly. And that's what I love when people call me, they say, hey, is this true? I mean, but I did this. I say, yes, but it's up to the credit bureaus to verify it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. So we have a good question in the chat here. I want to break right quick while we're in the middle of halfway through. It says here, are all bureaus or agencies held to the same standard?
Elaborate a little bit more. When you say the same standard, that means all the bureaus required to report all your information onto the credit bureau, all your accounts to the credit agencies? If that's the case, no. Okay. So by law, a creditor could only required to report to one credit bureau. Some of them report to all three. Some of them report to two. It all depends on the creditor because they have to pay. These companies pay, right, to report, have this information being reported to you. And also the credit bureaus charges these companies behind the scenes when they remove these accounts off of your credit report. Okay. It's a $1 billion business. So once again, it all works in the consumer's favor. Because once again, if the information is not verified or they did not respond according to the clause underneath the Fair Care Reporting Act, you can sue them. We can sue them. And they get sued, just like Mike mentioned, daily.
Yeah, looks like you answered their question. That was great. And once again, this is why we have different type of credit scores, because everything is not reported to all three credit bureaus. Some things are not, some things are. So this is why we want to get your credit report looking the same across the board. They're going to talk about you. We just want them to talk good about you when it comes time to clean up your credit. So yeah, thank you for that detail on that as well. Look at this number 6 right here. It says paying a past due debt removes it from your credit report. Now I'm laughing on the inside. You laughed ahead of me. So
because Mike, I share this story all the time. My mama. I know everybody. Mama said, just pay it off. Just pay it off. Just pay it off. Don't matter whatever the case. Just pay it off. And I'm like, well, mama, I still paid it off, and my credit score is still bad. Well, I mean, help me understand, because not exactly, that's not the case. Just because you paid an old debt does not change or erase the fact that one time you were not paying this debt as agreed, but can this record be changed? Absolutely. And this even brings me back into collections and charge-off, right? So we have a lot of people that say, well, I paid this off, but it's still on my credit report. Then my next question is, well, who did you pay off? Did you pay off the original creditor? Or did you pay off Tommy Joe's ice cream shop who called you to say, hey, let's settle the debt? And 9 out of 10 times they say, well, I settled with Tommy Joe's ice cream debt. And I said, well, I bet the original creditor is still on your credit report. Yeah. I said, exactly. So pretty much you just wasted your money, because the reality of it is you don't owe a collection company anything. That's the law. You do not owe them anything. And we can get a little bit more in detail about that when you contact Mike, and he can break it down to you in full details. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Number 7 says this: we have inquiries. It says inquiries are not derogatory and will not affect your credit standing. Matter of fact, I had a client a client called me this weekend and said, hey, I got a friend who just wanted to refinance their vehicle, but the car dealership or the bank hit like 20 times on their report, and can you remove it? And will that all be affecting their credit and everything? However, we're looking at it says anything that erodes your financial credibility is damaging to your credit standing. You have to know your credit score going into the bank, going into the dealership. Let them know what you have already. And you don't want them to hit you up on 10, 12 different banks, because I believe every inquiry drops your score 2 to 3 points on average. And after 10 inquiries, that's about 20 to 30 points your score has dropped in one day. But look at this though. I mean, 1 or 2 is not bad. That's fine. But then I know sometimes I've heard that the credit bureaus, part of their calculations, they say, well, if they know you're shopping around, it won't affect you too much if you do it all within a short period of time. But still, people are taking the chance. You need to know what's on your credit report. You need to know basically what your score is, and go on to annualcreditreport.com will help you get what's on your report, not your score, what's on your report. And that will help you determine how good, bad, and ugly things are on your report.
I so much like how you just trying to be so nice with this, Mike. You know, you trying to be so nice with the people. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'm not. If you got bad credit, okay, do not be going to the dealership. Okay, your job is not your credit and all that other stuff. They're gonna run you to like 40 people to find somebody that's willing to approve you for that 20 to 30% interest rate. Okay. That's what it is. To piggyback on what Mike said, if you're in the business of purchasing a car, right, Know what your score is ahead of time. And I always tell people, go with your bank or go with the credit union and go ahead and try to get a pre-approval. Then you go down to the dealership with your check in your hand. So everybody's not pulling and running your credit. Now, those who are house shopping, okay, within that 10-day period for house shopping, because they usually run it off a credit code, okay? They pull your credit from, it's called CRDCO. That's what the mortgage companies usually use. So within that 10-day period, you can shop around for your mortgage and you really still won't, it won't take a ding. They still treat it just like it's one, okay? So just make sure you know what's on your credit report, because once again, lenders look at that, okay? Lender like, well, why does person keep applying for so much credit? Are they desperate? Are they like, what's going on? Why they're not getting approved for the credit that they're actually applying for? That's another red flag. So once again, make sure that you monitor that. And just like Mike said, look at your credit report, get the information that you needed, and set a goal plan to take affirmative action to accomplish your goals.
Good word, sir. Appreciate that. Enough said. Like I said, I was trying to sugarcoat it, but
If you got bad credit, don't tell the people your job is your credit. It's not. Your credit is your credit.
There you go. Your credit is your credit. What about this though? We hear this: if you get a derogatory item removed, it'll just come back on there. So what's the point? What's the point of going to Corey? What's the point of going to Michael? Why go to these credit repair people? Let me say this: number one, we don't do credit repair. We do credit restoration. That's what we do. We get down to the nitty gritty. We don't just do a quick patch. We get down, see what the problem is. And this is how this statement is false, because if it's removed legally under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, then it cannot legally be placed back on your credit report. And so this people knows that once it's removed and it's done right, the credit bureaus have proof, they verified it, and it's deleted and everything's been updated. The law prevents them from any company putting this back on. And if it does, you have proof that it should be removed already.
Absolutely 100% true. Once again, what separates us, and I tell people, stay away from the people saying, oh, I'm a credit sweep in 7 days, pay me $4,000 and all that. Once again, I'm going to break it down to your audience, to your viewers. And what they're doing is just falsifying, saying your identity was stolen, and they're doing a false police report. Then once those creditors come back and verify that that was not the case, and it is true, they will then come back on your report. So you stay away from those people. Also, to keep all the viewers aware, do not dispute anything online. Once again, if you see something, it just says dispute. Are you leveraging the Fair Credit Reporting Act? No. Once again, there is no true investigation being done. That's an automated system, and 9 out of 10 times you will get a response back within 24 to 48 hours saying verified.
That's it.
It's just a couple of it. That's just it. And so that's why people need to understand. And I love how you said that we do credit restoration. We're digging down to the bottom of it, and we're actually using the law to make sure these items are removed and never coming back on your report ever again. I love how you said that, brother. Thank you so much.
That's my slogan. That's my slogan. That's what I use when I go talk. I said, and I break it down to them. And I said, listen, people who do credit repair, that's that quick patch. If you got a stain on your ceiling from a water leak that came through, and they just paint over with the primer and so forth and make it look good, but you haven't dealt with the leak. You haven't dealt with the problem. What we do is we patch that hole, we clean up the mess, we put a new drywall right there. And yes, it takes a little longer, but it's more permanent than what those 4, 5, 7 day people do with their quick fix type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I love that, sir. I appreciate that so much. And but this one right here, oh man, the past equals the future. I'm trying to understand that myth right there.
Because I can elaborate on this because some people think this is the biggest myth of them all, right? The concept that once you had bad credit or for at least 7 years is totally false. Anybody can run into hard times, especially let's think about what's happening right now, right? What happened during the pandemic. A lot of people had emergency situations. They fell on hard times. They probably missed payments. They were paying Peter to pay Paul to stay afloat. It doesn't mean that you're a poor credit risk for the next 7 years, okay? The simple truth is no credit report can predict the future. Once again, a lot of people need to understand that those items can be removed. And I can give my own testimony, if you don't mind, just to share with people, because when I got introduced, like I said before, 7.5 years ago, I was financially illiterate. I had a 435 credit score since from the age of 18 to the age of 26. Why? Because I never looked at it. Nobody never talked about credit. As long as you wanted to go buy a car or get a credit card or whatever the case may be. So once again, and then I finally realized I needed help when I got denied for a library card, right? And when it only took me, and I'm just sharing my true story, if I went from a 435 to a 640 within a 3-month time frame period. It didn't take me 7 years to realize that, hey, I had to wait till I'm 31 now to have good credit or to live a life that's abundant for me. No, I took action. I got with people like Michael and myself and said, hey, I need work. I need to get these things removed off. I need to now start being financially educated. Why? Because I have a daughter that I need to raise. And now it's not about me, it's about her.
There you go. Beautiful. So once again, your past does not equal your future. We want to keep the past in the past. And what we want to do is get rid of the ugly, turn the bad into good, and make the good better when we do your credit score. And that's why I really want to get people across. And it's not a snap your fingers overnight. And Rome wasn't built in a day. So it will take a couple of months. It depends on what's on there. So this is why we have clients that are so satisfied that if they work the plan will work for them.
Absolutely.
Number 10, here we go. It says, I cannot restore my credit on my own. Now, I know this might hurt us some, but I said, listen, yes, you can. I feel like the Nutty Professor. Yes, I can. So you can do it all by yourself. But my thing is, you can also operate on yourself. You can try to, fix your engine on your car, and you can represent yourself in court. But tell me how that's going to work out for you. Why not leave it up to the professionals, the specialists, the ones who are experienced and have the tools and the techniques to get your credit to the place that you desire it to be and to restore it from where it was before. We are the experts. When you are in trouble and you need to go to court, and would you rather have representation from a legal expert, or would you rather represent yourself? And some people are like, well, a lawyer costs money, but that extra money you put on that lawyer is going to keep you out of jail because they know the law. Doctors cost money, but I don't see you always stitching up yourself. I don't see you operating on yourself. If you do that, you Rambo. More props to you. I've seen Rambo do that. So, but no, we have professionals. Let us do the work for you and watch the change happen. Do go about your day business. Let us work for you. We do the homework. You put your name on it and you turn into the teacher. That's what it's all about.
That's it. I can't agree with you more on that, Mike, because I tell people like this, and I'm going to share with your audience, right? I am not that guy, right? Especially if you buy anything from IKEA and stuff, and they say, put this stuff together in and there's no instructions. It's just diagrams or whatever the case may be. I am the guy that will hire somebody else to professionally do it right. Because if you want to count on me to do it, it will not be set up right whatsoever. So hire the professionals, right? To get the job done the correct way, because that's what they know how to do. That's what they specialize in, right? While you're able to accomplish the other goals that you're set out to do on a day-to-day basis.
Beautiful. And that's as simple as can be. Just hire the professionals to do it. And we are the professionals. We have the means to do it. We know what your credit score looks like. We want to encourage you and coach you and give you the tips and tools to make sure you know, hey, pay your payments on time. That's the majority of your credit score percentage. How much debt do you use? Come on, stop using those credit cards and not pay them off as you should. And we know that a lot of people have trouble with those two main things, but the credit reporting agencies know this, and they're not stupid. They know people are going to be late sometimes, and they know people are going to use a debt and don't pay it all back at once. And that's why they make it majority of your weighted score. And everything else is like how long you've had credit, if you have new credit or not, or the diversity of your credit. They just say, okay, well, we'll weigh that just a little bit. You know, if you've had credit, you know, you've done if a while, we'll give you props for that. But we're looking to keep people, I'm being honest about it, I think they're looking to keep people down, because if you get 1 over 30, it's gonna take like forever to get that score back up if you don't pay your bills on time. That's something that we cannot change. You have to pay your bills on time. And that's
absolutely.
cool.
And then also too, Mike, for all your viewers out there too, for those who do not have credit cards, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to stress this, so it's so important. If you do not have a credit card, you are missing 30% of your score. Okay. So not only if you do have a credit card, you want to make sure you're not using over 30% of that total utilization. But if you don't have a credit card, you're just straight out just missing 30% of your score. So you want to make sure that you get with Mike, and we'll be able to get you that secure card that reports to all 3 credit bureaus, so that making sure that you're getting that 30% of your actual score if you do not have a credit card.
Exactly. And also those who are renting, we can give you credit for your rent payments for up to 24 months. So if you've been paying your rent on time, and on time means not over 30 days, not to the next rent payment, you can get credit up to 24 months for your rent payments and have a positive trade line on your credit report. And I know everybody has different scores. You know, it's hard to determine what to know my score is, but let me say this: if you can get your credit report in order, the score will follow.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter how they calculate your score, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. As everything is looking good on your credit report, the score will eventually follow. And the scores, if they vary more than, you know, just within 5 to 10 points of each other, you're good. It's pretty much, you're good, you know. But if it's like 30, 40 points off, then we need to find that discrepancy and get that corrected.
Absolutely.
Perfect, sir. Let's do this. We got a couple of things we want to share with y'all. We're going to close out. And we already talked enough about the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 71, about using the law to get your stuff deleted and updated. But we can also give you the tools and tips to help you monitor your score, to build your credit education as well, to even give you tools and techniques to help you build your score while we're doing our part on the disputing part. We have a client portal, which takes you through and shows you what you need to know to get your finances in order, to get your family secure and your future secure as well. We work with the United Credit Education Services, which has a 15+ year track record of updating people's credit score, helping people get to that level of financial dignity, satisfaction guaranteed. And let me tell you this: there are only 3 types of companies and organizations that can dispute your credit: banks, nonprofits, and credit unions. So banks, credit unions, and nonprofit. United Credit Education Services is a nonprofit organization legally to dispute your credit. And so you don't have to look at individuals doing it. This is a certified company that does it for you. And so we've been using them for a very long time. And we give you all of these part of our protection plan, which is part of my services. So I do this. This is like it's kind of a self-guided empowerment plan that you get. And yes, you can contact me if you have any questions, but we have a well-trained customer service in our corporate office in Michigan that can help you also if you have questions. But also I have a coaching program that not only includes this, but it also includes, I call it the 180 days on a track to a 700+ credit score. And you get a one-to-one training with me, with our groups. You get our private Facebook posting our private Facebook members account with us. You get emails from me. You get a weekly updates from me to help you get on track. So that's those who really want that handheld and that empowerment to get themselves and their family on track, including this protection plan as well. So you get to see how to use this to its full extent and without any questions as well. So if you want to do this, it's simple. It's $89 a month for the self-empowerment. I call it the self-paced protection plan, but it's very simple to use. There are videos with it. $89 a month, no contract, with the $99 activation fee. That's where you get that $188 from. That's a one-time fee in the beginning, the first month. $89 after that. I tell people, they ask me, well, how long does it take for me to get through this program? I said it takes about, I say on average, about 4 to 6 months. Now, the reason I said it because your score is different. I've seen people within 30 days score jump up. I've seen people within 8 to 9 months, depends on what's on your credit report. But I really try to get people out of this, in and out of this, in this program within 4 to 6 months, if not less than that. I want to make sure everything is done properly for you. I want to make sure you take care of everything and use all of these services we provide for you. We throw these in. This is part of the services. I know people want just credit restoration, get their credit report, but all of these other items are thrown in for you so you can take advantage of it. And there's no other company out there that can give you all of these in this package at the price that we do. You would pay a lawyer at least $400 to get a will done, drawn up and done. And so this is a very powerful program. And you go to my website at financial3d.com. That's financial, the number 3, the letter D.com. And they'll show you more details about that in a short video also. And then we can try to get this for you for free and go ahead. And when you get this for free, just refer five of your friends to enroll in this program, and you'll have the program, the plan for free. That $89 back in your pocket. It's a great referral program. Corey, did you want to say anything else before we get ready to close out?
No, so pretty much I just want to just piggyback on what you just said just now, just taking this information right now and just really just sharing it. Like you said, you have the capability right now not only to get your credit in order, but also getting your finances in order. So it's all about just staying within the program, because once you get an understanding of credit, right now you want to understand how to manage your money, how to manage your debt. And that's what our company is all about. It's not just about fixing up your credit. It's all about understanding, keeping that money in your pocket, creating that generational wealth, and then now building something for you and your family for a long term from out here to come. And that's what it's all about. And then really just thinking about all of these tools, right? We just really just focus on credit, but all of these tools that not only impacted my life, that I'm pretty sure that impacted thousands and millions of people's lives all across America, because we're not taught the financial literacy of things to be successful. And I'm so grateful that this company is providing these services that not only changed my life, like I said before, it just gateway just a generational freedom from years on to come.
Powerful. And that's what it's all about, building generational wealth. And that's my goal. That's my goal. It's the overall. We have one more question in the chat, and they ask, is this a myth? You have to make purchases to build credit.
Make purchase on what? So the main thing of this is if we go back to even how is your credit score calculated, right? And just like Mike said, one of them is payment history, right? So you want to, there's 35% of your score. So you want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. And when we send the bills on time, especially the bills that report to the credit bureaus. So like, for an example, if you have a mortgage, or just like Mike was just mentioned before, if you don't have any, if you're renting right now, you can add credit my rent, right? So now you're able to get that rental history added to your credit report, and that's giving you positive history. So you want positive credit history added onto your credit report. Now, once again, if you don't have any history, right, that means that there's nothing to report. So that means you'll be missing that 35% of your score. If you don't have any credit cards, that means guess what? There's nothing to report. So they're missing 30% of your score. So that means you cannot even have all the other factors if you don't have certain things. So it's not to say that a person has bad credit. We just need to make sure that we're filling in the pieces of the puzzle to where it needs to go to, so we can maximize that score to the full capability.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, Brother Corey, for your insight and information, and the testimonies of our past clients, and even those who have become part of the protection plan program. We have built a powerful scholarship program as well to bless young graduating seniors, incoming college freshmen, and we have been giving away bucks over the years. I mean, this past year I think it was over $400,000 in scholarship money we gave.
Yeah, 600,000.
600. Well, I'm thinking back at 2020. I'm 2019. Yeah, 600,000. Yeah, that's right. And we have a great time in doing this. So we're a company that believes in giving back, not just helping people. Yes, we make money, but we give back to our young people, and we have an education program as well to educate those in 8 to 18 in school, and we believe in financial literacy across America. So that's why I truly enjoy working with this company, and really working with people like you, Brother Corey, because you believe in making a difference in people's lives for the better.
Absolutely. And like I said before, I want to give it back to you again, Brother Michael. Thanks you so much, for being fruitful and just being sharing this information across the country. Because once again, it's all about, we can never have the opportunity to say nobody never told us, right? Like, I know for a fact growing up, like I said, only technology back then, saying social media was like MySpace or whatever the case may be. And nobody was talking about finances and things like this. There was no YouTube. There was no way that we can connect with each other and share information. So now, and I challenge each and every one of you, right, to be a good servant, because if you're able to help somebody else, by default, you're going to help yourself and win. So once again, like he said before, it's $89 a month. But guess what? You can get that for free, just by referring 5 other people, just by being a vessel to help a parents, help single moms or single dads, or help couples be able now to purchase a home, start their own business, purchase a new car at a low interest rate. Just with better credit, you have better opportunities. So by default, we all win, just for being fruitful, just for planting those seeds. And once again, thank you so much, Brother Mike, for having me on this platform with you to be fruitful and really impact and change lives. So if you're ready to get started right now and it's your winning season, reach out to Mike. Let's get started so we can make your dreams into a reality, because manifestation is the key, because you didn't end up here by mistake. So take action right now. You already started in claiming your victory. Now take the action and let's go.
Thank you again, Brother Corey. Everyone, y'all have a blessed night. I'll catch y'all next time on Mastering Credit. I'm Michael Morrow, your friendly neighborhood financial coach. Go to financial3d.com to get more information. Brother Corey, we thank you again for helping people reframe their lifestyle for the better. Amen. We'll catch you next time, man. Be blessed.
All right. Thank you so much. Be blessed now. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed one.